I don't. Sometimes we gotta show, even when we disagree, we disagree. I asked her to be here. Even when we disagree together. Are y'all ready? Brother, can I go? Thank you. Thank you. Y'all ready? The people. Y'all ready? We good? I'm gonna give you a minute. I ain't knocking that from nobody. Y'all ready? How y'all doing? My name is Terrence Hayes. I think that I had this whole thing written, and what I recognize consistently with our city is that we all kind of want the same thing. It just looks differently, time to time. I don't believe that police and parks should ever be pitted against each other. And I think we've done that in city council. And it's a bit ridiculous that we cannot have safe communities and parks, that we can invest in both. I'm not here to defend or argue about $2 million. What I am here to consistently show is that there was tons of different ways that we could have walked $2 million. We shouldn't have been arguing about new offices and rebuilds. We shouldn't have been doing things that constantly causes divides in our community. We had a unique opportunity with a unique new city council to bring and unite our city, and consistently we didn't. We plotted and continued to create narratives that didn't make black and brown and immigrant communities safer. We are not investing. My ask is that any way we invest in policy or policing, that it looks about the way that causes young black men to be safe in their engagement with our servants, with our policemen and policewomen. I am not here to live in any extremity. I've been consistently that way. That's why I ask folks who might disagree to stand behind me, because the narrative that we have to constantly fight each other over every little thing is ridiculous. And it has not made our city safer. We can have accountable, consistent policing while simultaneously having parks and recreations and things like that. But we choose not to. We love to argue over mundane and silly things instead of demanding both in the most real and consistent way. We will fight each other over the most nonsense instead of stand together. What I'm asking, people are going to disagree. People are going to yell, but what I'm asking is, when are we going to challenge our leadership to to bring results that actually can do both and instead of either or? Yes. We are not in combatants with each other. Yes. So, do we need parks? Yes. Should we fund parks? Yes. Do we need accountability in policing? Yes. Okay, y'all might not like me here, but we need policing. It doesn't matter how y'all agree with that. People are dying every day. Black men, young black men, middle-aged white men are dying every day from gun violence. You do not respond with that with community. You respond with that with an armed response. Doesn't matter how comfortable that make you. I did 13 years in jail for making a bad decision that caused harm. But I'm a community member that stands here that believes that every community member with the right resources, the right opportunity, and if we can align them with the things they need, we don't have to put anybody in jail. But if, like parks, but when people refuse to do right, there has to be an answer. Because how many young black men have to die before there's an epidemic of young black men dying? We can do both and. We can both reduce gun violence in our community while doubling down on resources. But our council and a lot of people politically insist that we can only do either or. I disagree with that notion. I think we can do both and. My challenge to our city is to be the type of city that can be safe and invest in answering root cause issues. We can do both, and I hope as a city we learn to. I am grateful. I have my babies here with me. These are the little ones. I have teenage sons that live in this community, and I'm telling you, I want them to live in a Portland that's united, a Portland that stands together, and a Portland that can do both and. With that said, I want to introduce Gresham City Council President Jerry Hinton. Make sure I say that right. Thank you, guys.
My name is Jerry Hinton. I'm the Gresham City Council President, and I'm grateful to be here today to talk about the reduction in proposed funding for our police. I'm here to tell you that my daughter, just last year, was tragically and brutally beaten for almost 10 minutes by 3 what appeared to be grown adults who were big men, full beards. She was letting her dog out of her garage to let them out. They pushed her in the garage and they beat her for 10 minutes with her 9-year-old daughter and 7-year-old daughter just on the other side of the door. These people were apprehended, and because of our broken juvenile justice system, they were let go almost immediately. And because of that, and because of Senate Bill 1008 from 2019 that have basically neutered our complete justice system for juveniles, they have since committed other crimes, including murder and attempted murder for a family of 8 just recently. It's unconscionable that we would allow that kind of thing happening in our state, but because of the state legislature, who are not practical, they're not reasonable, they're tone deaf and not in tune with what's happening with our justice system, they have allowed that to happen. Nathan Vasquez needs all the help he can get. He's a good man. It's a need for this community to provide that funding for the police and provide that opportunity for justice and the rule of law to take place in our community. Absent that, it's chaos. Absent that, we don't have the opportunity to grow our families and provide opportunities to raise our families. So I appreciate that, and thank you so much for listening.
How we all doing today? We all feeling good out here? No matter what side we on, get that shit out my face, dude. Don't be doing that, put that shit on my face, black man. So anyways, whether, like this brother said here, it don't matter what side we on. We need policing, but we need community policing. Because let me tell you something. It doesn't matter whether you got a badge or not. If you do not take a stand to defend yourself and the community, it doesn't matter what you got. Because let me tell you something. Yes, it's San Francisco. I know this isn't Portland, but it's San Francisco. My sister was motherfucking murdered. Hit across her head, left for dead for 20 minutes, about 20 yards from the goddamn police station, right there in what they call the Tenderloin district, right there on Ellis and Jones. Cops were right fucking there. They didn't bother to do anything for my sister. Why? Because she was a drug addict. That we're policing the police. So with that being said, fuck 12, everybody have a good day.
Not, was Monica next? We kind of got to interrupt there. Monica, come on. Thank you.
Hi there. Hi, I'm Monica Corey. I'm a resident of Northeast Portland. I've been in Portland since 1966. My dad was born here in 1910. I've been here for 66 years, excuse me, and he was born here in 1910. I just want to make a point about the fact that this improving our police force has nothing to do with taking away from our parks. Improving our police force should not be at the expense of the parks, but we definitely need an improved police force. And to be honest with you, the fact that 6 of the 12... And fuck guys, 'cause they pay us too. 6 of the worst crime-ridden neighborhoods are in District 1. District 1 has been grossly underserved for my entire life of residency in Northeast Portland. So Candace Avalos started this charge for district representation, and at a time when we could use more policing in these 6 neighborhoods of Powellhurst, Hazelwood, Mills End, Centennial. At a time when we need more policing, she turned her back at District 1 at the first opportunity that she had to serve. I'm all for great parks, but I'm not for parks that we can't use because they are being overrun by lawlessness and petty criminals. And the reality is, the spirit of our city is eroding with the lack of support for public safety. So I'm sorry that these people don't get it, but maybe they will. And maybe our city council will step up and let the mayor and the administrator do their jobs.
Today in Portland, we have lawlessness. Our city is dying. We have homelessness and criminals that are somehow above those that work hard, contribute to society, pay their taxes. My neighborhood has been decimated. It's unacceptable. The homeless problem and the criminal problem is costing the city $5 billion. Lost businesses, residences can't go to work, downtown core is hollowed out. It makes no sense. Those that created the problem are incapable of fixing the problem. These people should all opt out of police services. If they do not like the police, they can opt out. For those of us that need the police, District 1, East Portland needs police. So I see all your cameras are over there to this distraction, the socialists. They should move to Cuba. They should move to China. They do not belong in America.
This guy with your fake neighborhood association, dude?
Oh, didn't you run for city council?
Doesn't matter. We're here to support our city council.
That lie?
Lens livability.
That wanted to fund the police from the mayor's budget? Why don't you get up here and talk?
This isn't my press conference. But you are a fake neighborhood association.
Again,
You're the police's association.
again, the criminals and the homeless have cost this city greatly. All you have to do is go downtown, come to Lens, go to Old Town. They have destroyed this city. The city is dead.
And next up is Eli Arnold, who wants to say a few words as well. Eli?
Hi. So I'm Eli Arnold, and I've actually worked as a police officer in Portland. I started right here in East Portland, and my very first week, as the shift sort of comes on, I remember calls for help rolling in. Seeing police officers dispatch to those things, domestic violence, a shooting, and pretty quickly we would run out of people. But the calls didn't stop. They keep coming in, and they just stack. And so there's this list of people who, are crying out for help, and there's nothing for them. And I remember one particular call that sort of stuck with me. I remember seeing a family, so parents, kids are out in their front yard, and somebody probably high on meth, maybe experiencing mental illness, comes in their yard and tells them he's going to kill them. The family retreats inside the house, locks the door, and calls for help. But there's nobody for them, right? On my way to another emergency call and just realizing that they are going to sit there in this situation for 30 minutes, for an hour. And I wonder what happened to those people. Did they leave? Are there kids, some of the kids that are missing from Portland Public Schools now? Did they stay, but their sense of safety and well-being in the community erode, and this isn't the same place for them now? In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, safety comes right after food, water, and shelter. It's fundamental. So all those aspirational things we want to do sort of rely on that. And I think the mayor very wisely chose to try to address this staffing issue that took us 3 decades to build. The city grew, the number of police officers serving it declined. And so I think we should follow his lead. I think it is a shortcoming that needs to be addressed, because one of the fundamental tenets of community is that when you need help, there are people around you to offer it. Thank you.
And next up we have Pete Colt.
I've got a question for the people who are here for the parks. I have a question for everybody, please. Who here has had a woman stabbed to death above their bedroom when they were a little boy? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay. Nobody? Who's had a brother stabbed in a gang fight? Anybody? Raise your hand. Come forward. Anybody? Anybody? Okay, well, I have. So the viewing audience, two guys watching this news channel, good for you, because you know what? You're watching a good news channel. Look behind me at these people who want the parks. They're like Antifa. They don't want any regulations. They don't want any rules. 17 years ago, I was walking home and I found a homeless woman who'd been gang raped, violently gang raped all night on church property. Who helped her get into rehab? Officer Larry McNabb. There were people in our neighborhood. There were prostitutes in our neighborhood. I remember a pregnant woman, 8 months pregnant. Who helped that woman in 100-degree heat get into a shelter where nobody else would? Officer Larry McNabb. My experience with our Portland police has been, I see our cops, a homeless guy high as a kite says to the cop, come here and take a selfie with me. You know what the cop does? He takes the selfie. Our police are not like the police in other parts of the country. We need to realize that. Our police are our police are very cool. I see them time and time after again doing the job Multnomah County should be doing by funding social workers. There should be social workers at every single bottle drop to make friends with these homeless people, to make friends with these drug addicts, so they can form what's called a trusting alliance and get them into rehab. Speaking of rehab, there's two types of rehab in Portland. There's the voluntary kind. When a policeman arrests you or a policewoman arrests you, you can say, I want to go to rehab. That has like almost a 0% success rate. The other way that you can get rehab is to put them in jail, because when you're in jail, you're in rehab. And you know, you save a whole bunch of money by putting them in one rehab place instead of in two. You don't know anything about treatment, do you? Oh, no. So you know what? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. So let's talk about again. Anybody here ever have a problem where they were robbed? Anybody here robbed? Ever been robbed? Anybody here ever been robbed? Raise your hand. Come up here if anybody been robbed? You've been robbed? Anybody here been robbed? That's why we need police. Thank you. And you guys watching this news channel, you rock.
Hi everyone, I'm Sandy Chung, she, her pronouns. I'm the Executive Director of the ACLU of Oregon. I want to thank Mr. Terrence Hayes for welcoming me to come up to be here with my sign. So this is the thing, it's pretty simple. Right now the city of Portland has a cuts budget. They don't have enough money to cover all of their services. So the mayor had proposed decreasing the parks budget by $7 million for maintenance while increasing $1.9 million for Portland Police. And so our city council voted for that $1.9 million increase to not go to police, but instead mitigate the $7 million being cut from our city's parks. Now, I want you to remember this. Every year, Portland police and police departments across the country keep asking for more and more money. The United States has the highest rate of people in our jails and prisons of any country in the world. If funding the police made our community safer, we should be the safest city and country in the world. But that has not been the answer. So what we are asking is to make sure that the city funds the things that everyday Portlanders know make our community safer. More green spaces, better parks, good schools, good jobs, good health care. These are the things that make our community safer, and we know it because when you go to the most safe neighborhoods in Portland, those are the neighborhoods with the good parks, the good schools, and the good jobs. So we're asking for this for all of Portland, and so we thank City Council for supporting real public safety for Portlanders.
Hello, everybody. My name is Vadim Mazursky. Let me just say one thing to begin with. It's an honor being here with all these people that care about our city. I'm convinced that people from neighborhood associations, people from businesses, people that live in this area care about our city and want it to be safe. I'm convinced that Ms. Chung from the ACLU cares. But let's talk about facts. We've defunded our police 4 years ago twice and actually cut their overtime budget, so maybe 3 times. So since that time, crime has risen. Crime has risen. Murders have risen. Crime has risen. And then we started funding them back. Then we started funding them back and crime went down. I can't believe at this point in time we're talking about defunding the police as our crime rate is finally coming down. Now, we have a sign behind me saying "uncrease." That is the unfortunate sadness here. People have to create whole new terms because they don't want to call it defunding. Because defunding does not work. Defunding does not work. And so they call it uncreasing because they want you to think it's something else. It's not about parks. It's not about police. There's plenty of money. Commissioner Zimmerman had the ability to fund parks and police, but he was not heard because people on city council were wanting to cut the police budget. Now let's look at some more facts. We have some polling out there, and I'm going to read it because numbers are important. We had one poll that came out from our own city council that said 58% of Portlanders oppose public safety cuts. We had another that came out from DHM Research, a very reputable firm, that said 69% of Portland voters support a ballot measure to increase police staffing to the national average. That's almost twice what we have here in Portland. 69% want to increase the budget. And the latest poll, because I guess some people felt that that was not enough, there's another poll that came out recently, and that poll was, they actually paid people to testify at this poll. It said that 77% of people support non-emergency police services. They didn't ask emergency, so that's probably even higher, but 77% support. And instead we have what we have here. District 1, 66% of their representatives voted against the police budget. District 3, 100% of their representatives on city council voted against the mayor's proposal to support the police. 100%. So you have, exactly. Some people cheer that on. I call it undemocratic. We have to listen to people that are here. We have to listen to everybody, but let's listen to 77% of the people that actually want safety in their neighborhoods. This is about democracy. This is about voting. This is about making sure that people are heard. Some people will yell over you, and that's fine. Some people will yell over you. But this is about making sure people are heard. Thank you very much. And next we have Mike Piazza. Patrick Piazza.
I want to say one more thing again, please, to the people viewing the news at home. Again, first of all, thank you for watching this channel. Second of all, look at these people behind us that are whooping and hollering when other people who oppose their point of view are talking. And that tells you everything you need to know. To me, they're like Antifa interns or like children who got caught with their hands in the cookie jar and then want mommy and daddy to never look at them putting their hands in the cookie jar.
And next I'd like to announce Michael Patrick to say a few words as well.
Good morning. My name is Michael Patrick. I'm representing Gresham United for Safety. Our residents are frustrated, and we stand firmly with Commissioner Brim Edwards in opposing cuts to the District Attorney's Office. As she warned, that understands the wheels of justice. Gresham Police Chief Goldberg's April 17th letter emphasizes the DA's vital partnership with Gresham Police, leveraging the strategic partnership of services and unit to tackle chronic offenders and support victims, fostering community trust and safer neighborhoods. Gresham United for Safety's priorities are clear. Fully fund the DA, strengthen police collaboration, and expand diversion programs, and prioritize victim advocacy. We also value homelessness and mental health. The DA's diversion programs guide individuals to treatment, to housing, promote equity, and reduce recidivism. In 2024, Gresham voters passed a historic public safety levy, the first one in 32 years, by an overwhelming margin, taxing over to fund police, fire, and safety, emergency safeties. Our levy reflects our community's deep commitment to safety, driven by rising concerns over retail theft, auto theft, grocery, gun violence, and under-resourced policing. It's a mandate to prioritize justice and security in East County. Unlike Portland, with its urban density and different crime dynamics, Gresham's suburban context demands tailored solutions for our unique challenges, not a one-size-fits-all approach. The 15 million shortfall is real, but Brim Edwards calls for creative budget solutions with Goldberg's plea to sustain the DA's funding to maintain these partnerships. Cutting the DA's undermines our levy's intent, risking delays in prosecutions and weakening diversion attempts. Fully fund the DA to honor Gresham's 2024 levy, support police collaborations, expand diversion, and ensure a safety, direct, distinct Gresham. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm glad. I'm glad we live in a
criminals say right to the governor.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Hey guys. Yeah, we're all on Actually, I want to talk with everyone. I'm glad that we live in America where everybody is unique but loves each other. I'm glad that we're talking about parks. I'm glad we're talking about police because we're all passionate. We really are, but we're all brothers and sisters. Seriously.
Police are not my siblings.
But we all love each other. We seriously do. But I'm going to read this. So I'm a small business owner in the city of Gresham. I can try. I'm a small business owner in the city of Gresham. I just want to say I want to stand, and I need to stand, with Commissioner Brim Edwards against DA cuts, which she says halts justice. If the police are working so hard to get things better, but then they don't because they're letting them right back out, it just hurts us. We're spending money over and over again. We need to help our brothers and sisters, whether we're on this side or whether on that side. But you know what? We can all do this together. Seriously. Chief Goldberg's April 17th letter. Chief Goldberg is our police chief in Gresham. Yeah, fund the parks. Please, fund the parks. Seriously, fund the parks. Yeah.
We all agree on that. We all agree. We all agree. We're not talking about parks, we're talking about police today.
Oh yeah, because you're taking the fun away from the parks. They can do both.
We can do both.
Yes, they do.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish. Hey guys, I just want to say this. We all need to do the right thing. We all need to love each other and be compassionate and not do this.
Public location. You do need, well, you don't need permission. First Amendment right. I'm sorry. First Amendment right. I should. I would not look for the SRO officer to get out of my school. You've had SRO officers pull hair out of people's heads. I've been having school shooter drills, and you know who pulls me to the library to keep me safe? It's my librarian. We've had real guns at school. Police do nothing.
One more? They don't because there's not enough.
We don't have any here. We don't have police.
Okay. All right, just 1 minute. Terrence is coming back to make some closing remarks. Let me just say we have about 2 more weeks until City Council votes again on the budget. 2 more weeks for voices to be heard. We've heard a lot of voices here. We've heard a lot of shouting here. We've heard about increasing the police, instead of defunding the police. If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, and you call it an unchicken, it's still defunding the police. So this is going to be the conversation for the next 2 weeks, and I hope people will listen, and I hope people will call their representatives, email their representatives, and let City Council know what it is that you want.
Every time you parks people open your mouths, you make the case to fund the police and defund the parks.
Where do you get that idea? Where do you get that idea?
From you.
Oh, Vicky saying close it. I'm sorry, Deanne.
Oh, all right. Keep up.
Again, I'm Terrence Hayes. I really want to thank everybody for coming out. Really, thank you for hearing on Terrence. I appreciate it. I will say this. I really do love this city. I think even where we minutely disagree about particulars, especially around policing, I think we have to still double down on protecting our parks, our public places. Those places have to be safe also, and I think that's the balance we often miss in these discussions with each other. And so even though I tried to make sure, I think that we all want the same thing. I think that it's hard when people have disagreed about something for a long time not to let that disagreement be the focal place in every discussion. And so for me, I am grateful for people that disagree. I think that's what makes us unique in this city, and I think we're going to get the outcomes we're looking for with the right type of leadership. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Something people should know about the parks. When there's drugs going on in the parks and you call the police can't do anything in the parks. It has to be the parks department in Portland handles crime in the parks, not the police, okay? So when they talk about defunding the police, but when they talk about parks, that's where the drug dealers all hang out. At least in my neighborhood, they're in the parks, they're pitching their tents, they're doing shanty towns in the park, and I don't want kids around that.
Yes, hello, I'm Dean Salazar, and this is the sort of, I actually wanted to talk about this real quick, because this is what people who are far left do. They do performative activism while actually silencing voices of color that disagree with them. From my perspective, a Native American Latino, you're all colonizers, and yet, so we have to figure out how to live together. And we need to, and we need to speak the truth. A lot of the times, a lot of progressives don't actually like people of color. They like their idealization of people of color. That's all. Thank you.